Hi, this is A. Bushby. That ain't who tells it like a TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Topic I'm going to talk to you today about is Housewives tea. And this week's Housewives tea, I will be talking about, like I said, some of these stories are a few weeks old because I had a lot of personal stuff going on when it happened. Karen Huger being sentenced to 2 years in prison uh, all of the stuff that's been going on with Married to Medicine between Dr. Greg, Sweet Tea, uh, King and Quad, and stuff like that. I also will be talking about Giselle and Ashley's response to Karen going to jail. I also will be talking about the new housewife Stacy Redditch getting into it with designer Vivian from Real Housewives of Potomac. I also will be talking about some promotional stuff that Porsha did for Atlanta Housewives. Now, like I said, Karen Huger, I'm going to read to you right now. It says, Karen Huger has been sentenced to 2 years in prison with 1 year suspension with 1 year suspension after being convicted of 4 DUIs. I know I was watching Layla Lynn, and she was the first one to have reported it. And then I say four. I said a lot of people saying it's two and three. And then next thing you know, other people started picking it up. But Layla Lynn was the first one that said that from what she heard, because she lives up in Washington, that Karen had four DUIs that she did, and she also said they was from different counties in Washington, and that happened too because the judge came out and said that. I was just so disappointed in Karen because Karen is around my age. I'm just only 2 years older than Karen. Karen's 61. And like I said, I'm 2 years older than Karen. And so I couldn't imagine myself going to jail at no 61, 62, or 63 years old. And I've never been in jail before. And I've only been in jail because I refuse to get help for me drinking and driving and stuff like that. So I think the judge looked at the Karen had to do some time in jail and stuff, and they were saying that after I was on the We Go podcast. She was reporting it because she said she went down to the courthouse and she said Karen told Ray that she loved him and God's got him and she gonna be all right. And I was saying, Karen, if you would have took that sentence, and they were saying that she did go to rehab, but she was only there for 2 days, which was 48 hours, and the judge saw that because she thought she was gonna just go for real quick, and the judge was gonna be light on her. But Karen caused all this on herself because from what I heard from different reports, they had already tried to make a plea deal for Karen, and I guess Karen thought because she had got off so many years before that she was gonna get off on this, and she didn't. Well, hopefully everything works out for Karen and stuff like that. And Ashley was on Cameron Hall, and she said that she didn't hear about Karen's verdict until she was on the train coming to Cameron Hall. And Cameron Hall said, "Oh yeah," she said, "I feel real sorry for Karen. I hope everything works out, Karen for Karen. I hope Karen gets the help that she needs." And Giselle said the same thing. Said she was so shocked and surprised. She didn't think Karen would get jail time. She thought Karen was gonna get suspended sentence and stuff like that. I agree. I kind of thought that at first, but then I thought they kept reporting she had four DUIs. I said, that judge gonna be hard on her, and this is exactly what he did. Uh, on another note, I didn't mention this, but I'm going to mention it now. Porsha was supposed to go to court with Simon, but then they say Simon got detained because ICE had picked him up at the airport and stuff like that. And some people were saying it was Porsha. But Porsha came out and said it wasn't her. And she was sitting on Watch What Happens Live. I'll do a separate video on that and stuff like that. And so Portia has been going back and forth all year with with Simon in this deportation, also with this fraud, and also with this fraud investigation that's going on and stuff like that. And like I said, Stacy Raj had got into it because they were asking her. They said that they asked her at the end of the season finale, and she was saying the reason why she didn't wear Vivian's dress because somebody else had wore Vivian's dress. But I'm going to pause this video and read exactly what she said. Okay, I found it. It says, begging for reunion outfit she originally made for Ashley Darby slams her as phony. Uh, that's what Stacey Reddit said, but this is what designer Vivian Alba accused Real Housewives star Stacey Rush of lying and begging. Lying Stacey begging me for that outfit. I originally custom made that outfit for Ashley for a casual collaboration event. I offered Stacey uh, another gown appropriately, and she insisted on Ashley's outfit. I even showed her a picture of Ashley in it. My staff was present at the time of the conversation. Then came the most unexpected revelation. Vivian claims that Stacey returned her designer gown in less than ideal conditions. Stacey also offered that she had elevated Vivian by hiring her as an exclusive designer to strut for strays, making the allegations shady unnecessary. During the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, Wendy Sepper accused Stacey Rich of bad mouthing designer Vivian Abegola, claiming Stacey privately called at her a derogatory name, which Stacey denied. Wendy doubled down, insisting Stacey made that comment when asked about Vivian, while Stacey defends herself, saying she felt mortified that Vivian dressed her in a gown previously worn by Darby. Vivian is putting Stacey Ranch on blast, exposing her for allegedly begging for a dress, returning the gown in poor condition, and twisting the truth about the fallout. And that's all to the article. But she did say that she thanked Giselle because Giselle said who elevated who on the reunion and stuff like that. Now, speaking of Porsha and going back to Porsha, Porsha did do some publicity for the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 Peach coming up, and she was on the Breakfast Club, and they asked her about the situation with uh, with Drew Sidora and stuff, and she was saying, well, what happened between her and Drew, and Drew didn't tell her that she was going to be filming with Dennis. And she said, and on another note, she said Drew tried to book a photo shoot without her knowledge, and she was saying, go Naked Hair, it's her baby, her brand. She's supposed to sign off on everything. She got to sign off on everything. And they said, well, what about the situation with Nene and the Upshaws? She went all around the being talking about we had just got through coming from getting a divorce to filing for divorce. And even though she had already signed the contract, she was in one room, Nene was in another room. And when she heard Nene's voice, she just couldn't take it. She just couldn't take it because she was going through so much and stuff. And she thought Nene should have been there for her when she was going through her divorce because she was there when Nene first broke up with Greg. And she thought she just couldn't take it. She just couldn't take it. So she told the producers that she couldn't work that day. She was unable to work that day. And she said they told her, yeah, go ahead on home. And they was gonna get Cynthia Bailey to come and sit in for take in for her. And so he said, oh, that's how it was. That's how it was. She said, yeah, that's how it was. And he said, Porsha, people people think that you turned Simon into ice. Did you? She said, nah, I didn't do it. She said he kept wanting to have a in-person court date, and I was mostly doing it on Zoom. And by him having wanting to have the in-person court date, next thing I know, who's getting way on his way to come to the courthouse. Next thing I know, they said ICE had picked him up. So he said it wasn't me. I don't know who did it, but it wasn't me. Now I kind of don't believe Porsha as far as the Nene stuff. And ATL Lillian was saying when I'm out with my friend, I'm out with my friend. And next thing you know, she showed a little video, and I think the shade room got it. And what Nene said, she don't give a blank about what Porsha was talking about, because Porsha ain't doing nothing but sitting up lying and stuff and stuff like that. And so I said on my Twitter page, I think that after everything fell through with Portia spoke supposed to be showing the rich life rich, you know how rich and fabulous her and Simon was, and couldn't find Simon was nothing but a scammer. She had to go to her next to her next backup, which was Dennis. And what happened, I think, Drew wanted to film with Dennis because she didn't have nobody to film with since her and her husband breaking up, Ralph, and so Drew needed somebody for a storyline, and then Portia was looking at Simon could be her backup storyline. So I think that's why the main reason why she's mad with Portia about that stuff. Uh, Let me see. I think I have one more thing to talk about. Oh yeah, it was like after episode 11, episode 11, Sweet Tea had gotten on a YouTube channel, and her and her husband was discussing and stuff like that, and she was also on Watch What Happens Live, and also virtual T. Now virtual T, the man did ask her, was she surprised? She said no, she was not surprised because she said she know what kind of person Quad is. She said Quad is a master manipulator and wants to play victim all the time. You said, oh yeah. You said, what about the stuff with Hillary? She said, I don't know why Hillary don't like me, and I don't like Hillary, so I really don't want to speak too much of Hillary. Next thing you know, they showed a little signal where she was rapping to a Gorilla song. That's a virtual podcast. That was a good interview. Now I watched the Watch What Happens Live interview last night. I took a couple of notes because I've been trying to get to it for a while, and so and so uh, Andy kind of asked them some questions, and so he said, oh yeah, this is right here. He said, he said, he kind of introduced them. He said, he said one is a doctor or something something, and then he said the other one is something from a sweet tea, and so he mentioned sweet tea, and how got the introduction, and then he said, he asked sweet tea, uh, how did you get the name Sweet Tea? Who started calling you Sweet Tea? She said they started calling me that in college. She said one of my friends called me that in college, and then I just kept the name, and then Greg started calling me too. And so after that, he asked Contessa, what did she think about Apollo? What did she think about Apollo coming to on the trip? And Contessa said the same thing that Sweet Tea kind of said. Why was Apollo on the trip? He wasn't on the trip. And then so he said, do you think Heavenly did that because she wanted to show Greg and Sweet Tea how how to co-parent and live like co-parent. She said no. He said for one, Greg and Sweet Tea don't have no children right now, so why was she showing that? And Sweet Tea said yeah. He said, do you think she did that just to be messy? And then Sweetie said, "Yeah, of course you did." And Contessa said, "Yeah, I believe that too." Because she said, why was Apollo there? Apollo was not a part of the group. She said, "I know Phaedra invited Apollo last year because of her son's birthday party, but there was no reason for Apollo to be there and stuff like that, and it didn't work out anyway." And so, Andy say, "What do y'all think about Apollo getting divorced from his wife now?" Sweet Tea said, "Well, I have nothing to say about that, but I don't know." And then Contessa said, "Well, if you somebody's ex, and you going on a trip, and you the new wife, and you going on a trip, and your husband going on a trip with his ex-wife, I would have a problem with that." Sweet Tea said, "I would too." So that's why I ain't know why they invited him and stuff like that. So she said, and then Contessa said, "Well, I guess if you keep on going doing stuff with your ex, and you got a newly married, and you newly married, your ex gonna feel some kind of way, because I know I would." Then what's the next question? And then next question he asked Sweet Tea about do she think that King was overreacting, or do she think King did a bad thing? She said, "Yeah, I think he was overboard and overreacting." She said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Because him and Greg had already squashed the beef earlier up in the trip, earlier up on, even before the trip, a little bit after the trip. So I didn't understand what was going on. That's why I came running over there, because I didn't understand what I didn't understand why King was going at him when he had already made up." And then so Andy said, "Greg, what do you think about it? Did you feel threatened? Did you say you felt threatened?" He said, "Yeah, I felt threatened." He said, "Yeah, I thought everything was cool too, but yeah, I did feel threatened, and that's why I did what I did." He said, "Oh, okay." And then he said, and then he said, "Sweet Tea, we're gonna play a game, and we're gonna say proud about Quad." He said, "Because I did Quad the same way when she was on here about you." He said, you redecorated the house that Quad used to stay in. Did you keep anything that Quad left there?" She said, "No, nothing." And then I didn't like the shade of Andy, but the reason when he was asking the question, he had some kind of decorating book in his hand showing all kinds of stuff. I'm looking at, "You're supposed to be interviewing her about her, not talking about no Quad." And then she said, "What about called Quad? Do you think Quad is a fashionista, a good dresser and stuff?" She said, "Well, I put it like this. She wants to be an influencer." We said, "What you mean influencer?" "I mean being an influencer as far as trying to dress young, like young people." Oh, okay. And so he asked her, he asked her, "What else do you think about Corey?" He said, "Nothing." And he said, "Well," after a third question, he realized that she wasn't gonna give him no answer. I think Andy was trying to trap Sweet Tea up so she could say something out of the way so it'd go viral, and so Sweet Tea didn't hardly give him nothing. And so, going back to what she said she didn't think it was done, and she said, "Yeah, somebody put a bullet in his eye," and Andy said, "Bullet in his eye? I know you don't mean that. You don't really mean that." She said, "No, I don't mean it like that." She said, "I don't mean it like that." She said, "I mean somebody kind of whispered something in his, put something in his ear, and then Contessa said, that's a better thing." I think she was trying to say battery in her back, and a lot of people said that online is what she should have said, but it did look kind of awkward. That's why what you call it kept questioning her, trying to make sure it was just the right word. And everybody kept saying, "You sure you mean to say it like that?" She said, "No, I don't mean to say it like that. I just mean that somebody put something in his ear, and that's why he came up to Greg and all that stuff." I'm so glad she cleared that up. And like I said, when I first saw the little clip online before I started on Peacock, I was saying I wish Sweet Tea would have kind of rehearsed her answer, but she didn't really know what Andy was gonna ask her. But I kind of wish she would have kind of rehearsed it with Greg or with somebody. But she did pretty good anyway, because she had Contessa. Every time she tried to make a mistake, Contessa would kind of interject and say, "Oh no, I don't think she meant." So I'm kind of glad Contessa was there to help her out. And then And then after that, Andy asked asked her about the stuff with Heavenly and Damon. And he said, where did you get that rumor from? But Damon had an outside child and stuff. Do you really believe that? Do you think that's true, Contessa? She said, yeah. She said the medical street. She said, what you say? Streets is talking. Who is the streets? She said the medical streets. She said, oh, what's the medical streets got with you? He said, Sweet Tea, what about you? You said, heaven. You said that Damon cheated on Heavenly. Where did you get that from? She said, well, Heavenly was trying to be my friend, and I guess she was trying to be my friend, trying to be related. And she told me that Damon cheated on her one time, and she believed Mariah. And then so, Andy said, well, y'all right about this, Justin. And then, and she said, well, you know what? Heavenly will tell some of her business people, and then she forget about it. And then Andy told me, really? And then Contessa said, yeah, because she told me a whole lot of stuff and stuff. But I didn't repeat my stuff like she did, like she did my stuff, on her YouTube channel. But hell do she say stuff, forget that she tell people stuff and stuff like that. Andy looking kind of funny. And then after that, the show went out. Now, when I saw the little clip on YouTube, Sweet Tea did give Andy access to the money T-shirt. He also asked her about that part too, and she was telling him she got her own money, but she wouldn't mind, having access to the money and stuff like that. And he was saying, well, yeah, Contessa chimed in and said, "What's a whole lot of women, have their own money, but like she said, it ain't no bad thing, wanting a little bit more. So a lot of women looking for access to the money. So why can't Sweet Tea do it?" And I was saying, yeah, that's the same thing Quad did, but he uplifts Quad. Quad, he uplifts Quad, especially when T gave her when what you call gave her that call, oh Quad, and I'm looking at, the girl is coming out saying, she liked Greg, but, part because he a doctor and got money. And so I don't know what's going on with these people and the hateful and stuff with Sweet Tea and all this kind of stuff. That's all I have for this Housewives team. This is A. Wesley. That ain't even tells it like a TI is. I am out.